All right, it is January 13, 2021, and unfortunately, we have a blackout here in Wallace, Idaho, and it looks like 2021 has taken the lead of 2020 to make our lives challenging, but make us learn new things. 2020 was actually a pretty good year, in retrospect at least. During the time, I'm sure there were plenty of times that I cussed at it, but in retrospect, I think my life would be a whole lot less if we didn't have a 2020. And I'm sure I'm still enjoying things that were developed in 1918 as a result of that year. So I got to enjoy 2020 for what it was. But there are a number of things that went right. So one of my resolutions for 2021 was to continue having a healthy relationship with food, which was my big one in 2020, and also to get over my fear of loud noises and flashy lights and other loud environments like that. I have a big problem of having anxiety when I go into environments with loud noises and flashing lights, and I made a resolution to work on that. And I worked on that by going bowling. I recently took up bowling. Every Wednesday night, we have what's called Thunder Extreme, which is basically about as nightmarish as it can get in terms of social environments. But I love bowling, so it does help me a little bit to use that as an avenue to attack my anxiety. And I gotta say, I made a lot of progress already since I started going to the Thunder Extreme 3 months ago now. You see, when I first went to the Thunder Extreme events, I used to have to put on ear protection, and also I would go on a fast before going there. Fasting has psychological benefits to me, and I would go on a fast before going to Thunder Extreme. Lately, I've been taking off the ear protection. I don't even bring it with me lately. And lately, I've been going there without having fasting before. And it's a little bit more challenging without those two elements in place, but I need to work on that. And what was really nice was last week I scored a 182 in bowling, my highest score ever. I got very lucky. I got two sets of turkey scores, not consecutively, but during one game, and as a result, I scored a 182. Uh, Sometimes I want to impress the girls at the bowling alley, and that motivates me to score a lot higher than I normally would. When I go during the quieter hours, I tend to score a lot of two-digit scores, so that's good. So I get to practice a lot of different things at the same time doing that. Now, in 2021, I also learned to haggle more. The apartment that I'm living at right now, I haggled a better deal than I could have gotten just by opening my mouth, really, and not being afraid. Uh, See, one of the nice things about being so minimalist is that when I'm looking for a place to live, I can afford to be a little bit more picky, right? If this place doesn't turn out, I'll spend another night in my car, and then tomorrow I'll check out a few more places. It's never do or die for me. And so that gave me a little bit of practice. So I ended up getting a slightly better deal by offering to pay 3 months ahead of time. It helps that I kind of know this place. I've been here before. Only 2 nights. This is an Airbnb that I found, but then I got to know the owner. So it helps that I knew the place ahead of time. I've learned from my haggling experiences that it is very difficult, if not impossible, to try to nudge somebody to give you what you're hoping they're going to give you. Let me give you an example. I work at a tutoring center, and last year, or actually more like a year and a half ago now, I had one client who just has this habit of always eating in the classroom, and I have eczema. I got to be very careful around milk products. In my head, I'm thinking, why don't you eat a different time? But I tell him, could you please be careful with your food? Because I would break out everywhere if I get that onto my skin. And which is really annoying because I have to social distance from him. This was before I even knew it was called social distancing. And I felt that even though I could keep myself safe, I felt that it unfairly affected my performance over something that wasn't in my control, right? And I really wanted him to find another time to eat, but I didn't have the guts to say that. So I said, please be careful with your food. And I was hoping he would take the message. Give you an idea, I think he's about 15 or 16 years old. He didn't get the message. I had other clients who got the message, but he didn't. Other clients who were even younger than him who got the message. But I should have just told him. And then 4 years ago, I had another client. This was a private client. This was not in a tutoring center. And I needed to raise the price on the client. It was ridiculously low. I could have just said, I got to raise the price to whatever, but I was hoping, I made myself hard to find. I'm busy with other things. I got papers to write, I got conferences to prepare, and I was hoping they would offer more. And the reason I wanted to do it that, in my stupid mind, the reason I wanted to do it that way was because I kind of needed a big bump. I was hoping that they would make an offer that was higher, and then I could counter with an even higher offer. I kind of needed 2 raises. That's how ridiculously low the rate was. Now, the problem is I made myself busy, and they thought I was busy, and they just let me go. Now, I learned from that experience that if you're going to throw in the towel like that, you might as well just ask for whatever you want, right? The worst case is that, I guess you just throw in the towel. The best case is that you might actually get it, right? And actually, the worst case, you still learn something from expressing yourself, right? I've learned to never just throw in the towel like that. Now, it really paid in handsomely earlier this year at the tutoring center. I got a lot of odd hours. I mean, they're all scattered all over the place. I got to work an hour here, an hour there, half an hour over there, 45 minutes over there. And I really wanted to try to consolidate some of those students into into a compact schedule. And I learned to just tell them, I'm available Thursday at 5. I'm available Thursday at 6 for this other student. And just say, don't ask, could you do Thursday at 5? It would make my life a whole lot better. No, just tell them that you're available on that day. The worst case that could happen is you'll have to bend backwards if they can't do it, or you could just lose them. But you might as well, right? Because you wanted to clean up your schedule anyway, right? Why just throw in the towel when you can? If you're going to throw in the towel and give up on somebody, you might as well just ask for the most ridiculous thing on the planet, right? Because you just might get it, right? And if you don't, you were gonna give up on the deal anyway, right? There's no point in just making everybody guess, right? Anyway, it's been a good 2 weeks, and I hope to enjoy the unexpected ride of 2021, just like I did for 2020. We have a blackout, and earlier tonight, I was amazed at how much you could see in the night sky here in Wallace. So it's been a good experience with all these unexpected events. Thanks for watching.